You think it's a game? You think it's a game? Y'all gon' make me lose my mind. Yo, what's my name? Y'all gon' make me go all out. DMX. Y'all gon' make me act a fool. Hey, yo, what's my name? Y'all gon' make me lose my cool.
I've tried so hard.
What y'all really want? What y'all really want?
But it doesn't even matter. I've tried so hard.
What y'all really want?
It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. I've tried.
Boy, give me a sign. Dog, I meet bitches, the street bitches, slash, Cocoa Puff, sweet bitches, say you wanna eat bitches, but not me.
I tried so
I fuck with these hoes from a distance. The instant they start to catch feelings, I start to. What is it you want from a nigga? I gave you, you gave me. I played you, you played me.
and got so far. But in the end, it doesn't even matter.
Welcome once again, fans, to another live edition of the Showcase Pod. I am Don Vega, and I'm not joined by the boss, Chris Blackheart, this week. But nonetheless, we're here a little bit late, but we're live. And today, we were supposed to have as a guest, Studley Steve Stallion. Studley Steve has some issues, some personal issues. He cannot be here today to join us. But I got a replacement because, you know, when you're live, the show has to go on. And, you know, through a little bit of phone calls and stuff like that to Blackheart, he told me he had a suitable replacement for Studley Steve. So, Dan, do we have somebody on the line?
Chris Sprat,
What?
the Sons of Liberty champion.
Christopher Sprat, are you on the line?
I am. Salutations.
Salutations to you. So, you know, we have the Showcase Pro Wrestling Sons of Liberty champion, the educator Christopher Sprat. He is joining us via phone line. Chris, I'm sure if you've watched the podcast in the past, right?
I have.
Okay, so we're going to keep the same format. If I may ask you, as Little Sprat, what got you hooked into professional wrestling?
Well, when I was younger, my father was flipping through the stations, and he turned on Monday Night Raw. And just from the instant he turned it on, I don't know what it was, the pageantry of it all, I was hooked, and I've been a fan since and wanted to eventually be a part of it.
Okay, so you grew up watching wrestling. Talk to us about, you know, school. You did sports in high school throughout your career in high school and college?
In high school, I played football for the high school. I was actually, fun fact, part of the first ever football team in Blackstone Millville Regional High School, because they didn't have a football team until 2012.
Oh, okay. So
in college, I didn't play any sports. I mean, I did intramural sports, whatever, but in college, I joined the Sigma Chi fraternity, and that was a great time being part of that organization.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, did you attend any wrestling shows, like independent wrestling shows, before finding Showcase and starting to train to become a wrestler?
A few, but not really many. All I really did was attend, like, Raws and pay-per-views like the Royal Rumble and all that. Oh, and also WrestleMania when it was in New Jersey in 2019.
Okay. So what was your first introduction to independent wrestling? How do you find Showcase Pro Wrestling?
So how I found Showcase Pro Wrestling was actually someone I graduated high school with. Trained here for a little bit, and he told me about it. So I joined and came starting in January of 2020, and I started training, and I was training for a month and a half, and then the pandemic hit. And at first I was like, is this a sign telling me that this is not for you.
Mm-hmm.
But I trucked on, and we had the video classes and watched matches and discussed all that, and we continued doing that until things opened up and we can start training again, which I think we came back a little bit in June, where we were just doing conditioning drills and getting blown up.
Yep. Yeah, we was doing all that. Then we started doing the in-house tapings, and no audience, just us, taping stuff for YouTube. Talk to us a little bit about that. I mean, for the first time ever, people were locked down. The world came to a stop, and we kind of had to improvise and continue on. Talk to us about experiences that you had, not only wrestling but in general life.
So the first time I wrestled was in January of 2021. And that was, like, as you said, during the tapings or whatever. So I had never been used to wrestling in front of the crowd, so that was the first time wrestling for me. So I guess it wasn't as weird for me as it was for other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely a weird situation for a lot of people. A lot of people felt, uneasy, and we certainly took the route of being the safest we could. People got checked out before doing the tapings. Everybody got checked out, make sure everybody was fine, and we try to keep everybody safe while doing these tapings when we did.
Yeah, so we did that, and then eventually when we had the crowds, that's when I was probably the most nervous wrestling in front of people for the first time. I was nervous, a little anxious, whatever, worrying that I might mess up, look like an idiot. But
okay, so
I think you guys training at the Showcase Training Center, I think, was really helpful and really instilled the basics and all that in me.
Mm-hmm. So bring us back, Sprat, to training. Were your expectation a lot higher than what it was? Was it easy for you? Was it hard? Or what was the feeling like? Starting to train and becoming a wrestler instead of just watching and being a fan.
So when I first started training, when you first get in the ring, you take the first bump. You're like, whoa, this is a lot. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's a wake-up call in a sense, because you're like, oh wow, this actually hurts a lot.
Yeah.
But I would say I was a slow progressor starting out. It took me a little longer to get things down pat, and I would mess up and be visibly frustrated during training. But I think the more I just kept coming every day, the more I progressed, the more I got everything down and just became better in general.
Okay. So, you mentioned before you used to go to shows. Was all your family, your parents were supportive, when you decided that you were going to give it a try and train to become a wrestler?
Oh, yeah, very supportive. My dad was supportive, but he also said, just make sure you can pay your student loans off as well, as long as that doesn't get messed up. But he was supportive. Both my parents and their families grew up watching wrestling, so they were supportive and they enjoy it, and they come to shows all the time.
Okay, so I'm sure that they're proud of all your accomplishments so far, but talk to us about the persona, Educator Christopher Sprat. I mean, a lot of people might not like the style of the way that you do things, and a lot of people are vocal about you at shows, and some dislike you. Where does it come from? Where does the Educator Christopher Sprat comes from? How did that come about?
I've always enjoyed just learning facts and reading in general. So I think it's just naturally me in trying to just be informed in all different things and have knowledge on different things and all that. and my parents instilling that education is important and it'll help you along the way. Now, these people who hate me at the shows, they're probably uneducated, so that's probably why they don't like me. But
I guess, that's your own opinions here. I'm being middleman and I'm biased in this show. So, yeah, I mean, we've seen progression. We've seen you become kind of a coach of your own in this little stable that you have with one student, Daniel Cabral, and D-Rex. How do you enjoy working with those guys and, bringing those guys along for the ride?
Very enjoyable. I will say there is never a dull moment when it comes to those two. Even when I have to discipline them by putting them in the corner, there's never a dull moment.
Yeah, you seem to enjoy pulling Daniel by his ears and, yelling at him quite a bit. And, I like to keep everything, straightforward here on the show. Recently, we have seen some kind of issues going on in your little stable. Can you clarify if everything's going well? What's going on there? We see that Danny's getting a lot of support from the fans lately, and, he seems to be liking that attention that he's getting.
Yeah, all that attention is just going to his head. There's no dissension as far as I see or I can tell. He just needs to keep listening to me, continuing his studies, and just keep going on the path that I've put him down. Okay.
So let's go back to you again for a little bit. We've seen that you accomplished, the Sons of Liberty title. Take us back to that moment, and what did it feel like to achieve championship and showcase, and to achieve your goal as a wrestler, to become a professional wrestler, and then now a champion?
It was very exhilarating. It was pretty cool because you grow up, you watch wrestling, you're like, I want to be that guy. I want to win that title. So I think when you actually set forth and you make that dream become a reality, it's just a cool feeling, and the hard work that you put in with your opponent and all that, and just it's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely a cool feeling to achieve your goals and your dreams. Did you grow up with any favorites that you used to watch, Sprat, on television as far as pro wrestling?
Favorites? I mean, I don't know if I necessarily had a favorite per se. I just kind of enjoyed watching it all and just seeing the different genres and styles that there are.
Mm-hmm. So you just became a fan of wrestling itself and the spectacle and the larger than life and characters and all the entertainment aspect of it.
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm going to get into some quick plugs while I got you on the phone here, Sprat, and it takes us all the way to December 1st, which is next week, at the Taunton BFW Hall for Seasons Beatings. That's the big show to close off the season here in Showcase Pro Wrestling, to close off the holidays. And that's at 7:47 p.m. bell time, Friday night at the BFW Hall in Taunton. And a few matches have been signed for that event, including the SPW Heavyweight Championship being defended by Brother Moon Reverend, taking on the Masshole Mike McCarthy. And by now, if you didn't know, Sprat, I don't know if you watched last week or not, but I know Blackheart's behind this. There's been a SPW Tag Team Championship match signed, as Alex Rated and myself will defend the title against SPED, which is you, Daniel Cabral, and D-Rex. You knew about that?
I have been informed about that, and I am excited for it being the holiday season, what better gift is there than to take the tag team championships from you?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves there, but certainly it's going to be an interesting night. Also on that card, an open challenge by the notorious Rambo Godfrey. We've seen him week after week taking out people left and right, inviting people to the ring, attacking them. He took out superstar Sean Candido. He's been out of commission for a while. Friday night, December 1st, Seasons Beatings. You don't want to miss it. We're back live at the Taunton BFW Hall. Then the following week, December 9th, we return to the Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center and Arena in Woonsocket, Rhode Island, 126 Main Street. And that's a 7:07 p.m. bell time. Great card there. That'll be the last show of the season, so you don't want to miss SPW in Woonsocket. Going back again to the new year, starting off with a big show back at the Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center and Arena, January 6th, with a 7:07 p.m. bell time for the show. But before then, we're going to be having a fantasy camp from 3 to 6 p.m. And that camp, you're going to get to be interactive with all the stars of Showcase Pro Wrestling. You're going to get to build your own entrance. You're going to get to experience it all. Backstage experience completely. So you want to go to showcaseprowrestling.com for all the info there and tickets for all the events that are coming up. Following week, January 12th, we return to the BFW Hall in Taunton, Massachusetts on a Friday night, 7:47 p.m. bell time, and that begins the road to Marchversary 17th, followed by the next night, the big one in Franklin, Massachusetts. Showcase Pro Wrestling returns to Franklin, Massachusetts at the Elks Lodge Saturday night, 7:07 p.m. bell time, and the main event on that card has been signed as New England's favorite superstar, Teddy Goods, returns to Showcase Pro Wrestling to take on MLW superstar Ichiban. You don't want to miss that card. All that and more at Showcase Pro Wrestling on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all social media. So you want to give us a like, a follow, share, all our stuff. Sprat, are you ready for all those dates that are coming up? If you make it past, December 1st.
Of course I'm ready.
I hope you are.
There's no question about it.
I hope you really are. I hope Daniel, I hope the things could mend up with you and Daniel and you guys don't end up fighting each other instead of us. But, also, if you go down to our website, we got a Black Friday sale going on coming up this Black Friday. You could get your tickets for Marchversary 17, and that link is just going to be up from Black Friday to December 1st, so you want to take advantage there to get your tickets. We got the barcode up on the screen. You could get your tickets there. Don't miss out. Marchversary 17. Last year, we sold out. We had to turn people away. You were there for that, Sprat. You seen that we had to turn people away. Book solid.
There.
So you don't want to miss this year. Get your tickets now. Get your tickets for all the events, including the big one in Franklin, Mass. The return of Showcase Pro Wrestling there. So going back to you, Sprat. You mentioned the holiday season. You mentioned that you're looking forward to having more than one title. Is this the issue that's been going on with you and Daniel? Is because you want all the spotlight? I've heard that he's concerned about your greed. Is this a thing going on or?
There is no greed. There is no greed whatsoever. It is just using my intelligence to achieve greatness.
Well, I guess if you wanna say that, if you wanna call it that, that's fine. But a lot of people, including a lot of the fans of Showcase Pro Wrestling, been saying that it's a lot of greed, and some might even say that you're a little jealous and envious of Danny.
Jealous? There is no jealousy for Daniel. Daniel was nothing before he was with me. I took him under my wing and have shown him the path to true success It's through knowledge and intelligence and learning.
He's definitely learned a lot. Some might say he's learned too much from the teacher. He's sometimes, the teacher teaches a student all that the student knows, but, not everything the teacher knows. And a lot of people are saying otherwise, Sprat. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting holiday season in your little group there, man. I just been keeping an eye out. I've been watching the last couple shows, and seems to be a little bit of an issue, but we'll find out December 1st if it's a thing or not.
Mm-hmm.
Let me
We
turn.
will.
Go ahead, Sprat.
No, continue.
I am going to turn away here real quick because we're also live on my Facebook page here. And we got a lot of viewers there. Danny, if you want to scroll by, and because it's hard for me to scroll at the time. And I see that we got Bob McCarthy on there. What's up, Bob? Frank Rocha is on there. Aaron, Paula. Who else is there? Carrasquillo, my man. ¿Cómo estamos? ¿Todo bien? Chris Sanders. What's up, Chris? Kane Delmeda is watching also. Thank you guys for joining us and watching. My mean man Mike, he's on there too. Hope everything is well, brother. Alan. Yeah, a lot of people watching us on the Facebook Live. We appreciate you guys tuning in like always. But turning back to Sprat, Sprat, any New Year's resolutions that you have for the 2024 coming up?
New Year's resolutions, of course, to continue the path of education, to achieve further greatness, win every title, and to educate every failure that steps through the ring and sits at ringside.
Okay, that's quite the interesting goal. So now, if we could go back to Chris Sprat for just 1 second, obviously you say education is a big part of everything, including the education to be a great pro wrestler. But you did. For you, it's always been an important part. Obviously, you're a college graduate and all that. You want to share any experiences from college, the in-house tapings with some of the people watching? Apologize for the bad audio there.
Oh, yeah. I do recommend people go to college, just in general. But even if you don't, you don't even have to go to college to have education. I mean, learn a trade or learn a skill that can help you with something in life. Mm-hmm. Just be knowledgeable in something, whether it's a skill or trade, college education, because without any of that, I mean, you're going to wind up at a dead-end job, not really enjoying life.
Yep, that's almost certainly there. Going into education, I mean, you've been a student at the Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center. I know we get some guys that pop in that, that watch, that are interested in becoming pro wrestlers. Any advice for young men and women that are thinking of pursuing their passion, pursuing their dream, and stepping in and training to be a pro wrestler?
Yeah, just do it. Just come and get through the door and do it. And then when you hear, as Blackheart would say, open your ears and shut your mouth and just listen to the people who have been here and know what they're doing.
Yep, definitely, and going back to that, you've been a great example of that. And, again, if you're watching and you're interested in becoming a pro wrestler, you could go down to the Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center, 126 Main Street in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. We're there Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays from 6:30 to the time we're done. Sometimes we're out of there at 10 o'clock at night. All the info is at showcaseprowrestling.com. You could come and train with myself, Blackheart, and Coach Ken Doan on Wednesdays. Like I said, all the information is up now at showcaseprowrestling.com. Sprat, how do you find D-Rex? How does he tie into the whole SPED affiliation, association, group, whatever we want to call it? How does he play a key part of your whole group there?
He plays a very important part. See, Daniel is the student. D-Rex is the student athlete. You need a little bit of everything in the group. You need some intelligence. You need some athletic ability, and that is what D-Rex is. He brings some athletic ability.
So I'm going back to, I don't want you to think that I'm getting on you guys or anything like that, but I'm going back to what I heard through the grapevine when I speak to the fans and when I see comments from the fans. He was a very important part and the reason of you carrying the Sons of Liberty title as we speak when he screwed over superstar Sean Candido last year's March anniversary. So, a lot of people were talking about that, and they still talk about that to this day.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
So it was just, was you part of this plan that Danny came along and was the guy to execute the plan? How did that work? How did that come about?
So I can't reveal every bit of knowledgeable information I have. You gotta keep some of it back. But I did have Daniel run a few tasks leading up to March anniversary. He had to do a few things to prove himself to me as a student, and one of the last things was a surprise. And Danny was, I will say, a little bit intelligent and a mastermind of using resources to help me win the championship from Candido.
Okay. Resources, huh? That's kind of like Blackheart and his resources, It's kind of odd that a week before the big matchup that we have coming up, Blackheart's not in the studio, a week or two before. Is it 2 weeks? 2 weeks, yeah, 2 weeks from now, right? Yeah, it's kind of odd that he's not in the studio today. Any comments on that, Sprat?
I have no idea where he is.
The
He's
match
off
gets
gallivanting, doing his own thing.
Yeah, the match gets announced last week, and suddenly this week he's missing in action. Is this
You have to call him and ask him.
It's just funny to me, but nonetheless, the show must go on, and we're gonna find out what he got up his sleeve come December 1st. Sprat, anything you would like to add before I let you go? Any social media you want to plug? Any last words you would like to tell the people watching and listening?
Social media, not really. Social media is for the brain dead imbeciles out there. For final words, yes, I will continue my reign as Sons of Liberty champion. We will win the Showcase Tag Team Championships at Season's Beatings. And don't hate me because I'm educated. Hate yourselves because you're not.
Unbelievable. All right, Sprat. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, man.
You too.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. That was the educator, Christopher Sprat, the Sons of Liberty champion of Showcase Pro Wrestling. What a guess. What a guess, huh, Daniel?
Yeah.
Tremendous.
Very well educated.
Yeah, he's definitely counting on winning the tag team championship, but that's easier said than done when it comes down to it. And again, I like to remind everybody that we'll be back in action December 1st, Taunton BFW Hall, Friday night, 7:47 p.m. bell time. Seasons Beatings live at the BFW Hall in Taunton. And, already title match has been announced. as Brother Moon Reverend defends the SPW heavyweight title against Mike McCarthy. The SPW Tag Team Championship will be on the line as, what's that? Masshole. Yeah, the Masshole. Yeah. The SPW Tag Team titles will be on the line as the educator Christopher Sprat, the student Daniel Cabral, and D-Rex will challenge Puerto Rico's Most Wanted in a 3-on-2 handicap match. You know, the way I look at it, because I forgot to tell Sprat now it came about, the way I look at it, it's like, what was that show? 2.5 Men? What was that show? It was a half. 2.5 Men, yeah. That's the way I see it. You know, you got, yeah, it's like 1.5 Men, because, you know, Danny's half a guy. And no, actually, Danny's a man. Sprat probably half a guy. And D-Rex, you know, from what I heard, you heard him say he was a student athlete. From what I heard, he was just a bench rider. I don't know. That's what I've heard through the grapevine. And I might be wrong, but we're going to find out soon. Going to December 9th, we're back at the Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center and Arena, 126 Main Street in Woonsocket, Rhode Island, Saturday night, 7:07 p.m. bell time. And we close off the 2023 with that event. And beginning January 6, 2024, we're back at the Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center and Arena for the Fantasy Camp from 3 to 6 p.m. There you'll get all the interactive with the SPW stars, entrances, you name it, bring your gear. If you ever dreamed of being a wrestler and you want to get the backstage feel, this is your opportunity. January 6th from 3 to 6 p.m. And then we have a show at 7:07 p.m. bell time on January 6th. January 12th, we return to BFW Hall in Taunton, Massachusetts for the beginning of the road to March Anniversary 17. So you don't want to miss Friday night, January 12th, 7:47 p.m. bell time. And the next night, we're back at the Elks Lodge in Franklin, Massachusetts, January 13th for Saturday night at 7:07 p.m. bell time. And the main event on that card has already been announced. Teddy Goods will take on Ichiban. Tickets for all those events are already up at showcaseprowrestling.com. I think we got the scanner, the QR code on the screen. You could get tickets by taking a snap of that QR code there. You got it up on the screen, Danny? So you could go there and get your tickets. On Black Friday, we're going to have a pre-sale for tickets for March Anniversary 17. You don't want to get left out. Last year we were sold out. We had to turn people away. There's going to be a lot of surprises this year's March Anniversary, so you want to be there and you don't want to be left out. So get your tickets then. With that being said, you know, a lot of things going on in Showcase Pro Wrestling. It's gonna be a great end of the season. Season's beatings. Which one is it? 3, 4? It's the 4th edition of Season's Beatings. So, you know, 4 years in a row, this one's going to be better than the ones prior. So you don't want to miss it. December 1st coming up. As always, you can follow me at Don Vega in Instagram, on Facebook, Don Vega, and also follow us at SP Wrestling on all socials. But for now, that's all I have for tonight. This has been the Showcase Pod. I am Don Vega, and I'll catch you down the road.